Hey, I am TC, your girlfriend, not girlfriend, and the most honest F buddy you've never had. Today's topic, let's talk prospects. Good and bad candidates for friends with benefits relationships. So, the first thing I want to start with is persons from a dating app. These are some of your more safe options because one, you guys probably don't run in the same circles, you don't know the same people, you don't hang out in the same environment. So, if anything were to go south for whatever reason, you haven't been listening to me, then you don't run the risk of it messing up other friend groups or it causing some type of weird, uncomfortable space for you or that other person in the environments that they have grown accustomed to. Now, when you're on these dating apps, what exactly kind of person are you looking for? You're looking for someone who has a lot going on in their life, someone who you have a lot of shared interests with, and someone who is not looking for anything long term. So if they have something like monogamy or long-term relationship, not the best option. You're looking for those short-term people, those open to short, those non-committal kind of people with high levels of interest. Because if you're going to become friends with benefits with this person and not just a booty call, you guys are going to need to have a plethora of other things to get involved in to keep that connection and that spark going. Now, let's say you don't like the idea of looking into a dating app or you're already interested in someone in your friend group. You want to look for that well-established friend that is mature. They are a pretty decent candidate. As long as they are not a habitual relationship person or you find that they are falling in love and getting hurt repeatedly, they are probably a good candidate for you to go after. Make sure that maturity part is there. If they're mature and you guys communicate well already, they're possibly a good candidate. That brings me to the next pretty decent candidate. A person you've met through a shared group or activity. Someone who, since this is a shared group or activity kind of situation, you guys already have pretty common interests, possibly. If you're looking into a person like that, you want to make sure that they have those really baseline elements that I talked about just a moment ago. So maturity, you communicate with them well, those type of foundational things. If you find that in your shared group, or maybe if you're a part of, let's say, hikers of whatever area you're in, okay, they're a pretty decent candidate. They're in your range of friends. They're in arm's length. They are touchable, tangible right now. And if you guys already get along and you have some shared interests, good luck. Now let's get into bad candidates because I feel like this is the more important part. You can find a friends with benefit pretty much anywhere as long as they meet some of those ground qualities that I talked about previously. But let's talk bad candidates. Co-workers or bosses. Steer clear of these people. You don't have to, but you may be better off for doing so. Because if anything were to go south, for whatever reason, you guys end up not getting along or something like that, you don't want to have an awkward, weird, or animosity-filled work environment. And if this is your boss, that escalates things a bit because now this person has power over you and it could possibly affect your livelihood. I know that you can see that. You can see where I was going with that. I would definitely advise against coworkers or bosses. Next pretty bad candidate is a roommate or someone you live with. So again, for a similar reason, without the negative added possibility of that person affecting your livelihood, this person can affect your level of comfort in your home. Your home is supposed to be your sanctuary where you love to come back to. You don't want to create a space if anything were to go south where you come home and you are not comfortable. You feel like they may be doing something to your things, or you just walk into a tense environment. You don't want that. So just to rid yourself of the possibility of making your home uncomfortable, don't shit where you eat. Period. The next candidate that is probably a pretty bad option is your business partner. So if you and your business partner have had a close, cool friend relationship, you guys are probably dealing with each other on a pretty close level. I mean, money is involved, right? This is business. That's why they are a pretty bad option. Because with money being involved, if anything were to go south, you may have to go through a whole legal process just to separate yourselves financially. And And you don't want to have to deal with that. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where your money is tied up in someone else's emotions or your own emotions. When you already have your money and emotions separate, I would advise keeping it that way. The next bad candidate, and this may go without saying, but some people, I'm very certain, have tried it or are thinking about trying it, especially if that breakup wasn't all that great and you wanted to still be there. Your ex. No, don't do that. I mean, I'm all for friends with benefits relationships and healthy friends with benefits relationships. And if two people feel like they're super mature and can do it and whatever, okay. But that is mostly not the case. However, you guys, even if it was pretty casual or you guys decided that you enjoyed each other's company, but you don't work well together, because that person is your ex, I mean, depending upon the amount of time that you guys spent in your relationship, because that person is your ex, you run the high risk, the very high risk of someone becoming emotionally attached way sooner than either of you were okay with happening. And you don't want to feel that pressure from that person, or you don't want to be applying that pressure to someone who may not want to be there. It's a hurtful, not comfortable, not great position to be in. I can't say that I'm speaking from experience, but I just can foresee that in the future of two people who have been together in the past and are trying to now separate themselves from that level of intimacy. And I don't mean just like sex intimacy, but I mean a level where you two were putting each other in your futures. So bad idea, don't do it. Ex, I would advise against. And the last person I feel like it would be a bad idea to enter into a friends with benefits relationship with is someone who you know really likes you, or if you really like someone else. I touched on this subject before, but you do not want to enter a friends with benefits relationship when there is already a super, super high level of attraction there, because you run the very high risk of that person seeing you long term. You guys are going to get close. You guys are going to feel real good together. You guys are going to be having a great time, having great sex. If they already liked you, or if you already really like them, you're definitely going to start to feel something way more, way sooner. And I always advocate for people not being in that feeling something super strong for someone else alone boat. It's not a fun boat. There's tons of videos on it. Everyone feels like friends with benefits relationships will reduce to that one person feeling higher emotions and then it ending terribly, right? You don't want to start yourself off in that type of position. So that's it. That's all I have on good and bad candidates. Good candidates, friend group, mature people in your friend group, or mature non-committal people on relationship and dating apps. Bad prospects, I had the long list. Good luck, guys. Have fun. Make smart decisions. And as always, feel free to ask for any clarity or any questions that you may have in the comments. I love to answer them. I love questions. Until the next video.